Et on est live with Getting Tuesday Done, episode 21.
What's up, Phil?
Ça va,
How are
toi?
you, my brother? Good. You?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
It's one of those days.
Oh, bro. At least il fait beau, man. C'est une belle journée.
Yeah, it's
Ici au
beautiful over
Québec.
here. 20 something today.
Oh, you should close your
How
Discord.
is it over there?
Is your
27,
Discord
I think,
open,
today
George?
over here. 20. No, my Discord is closed.
You're lagging. Is it me or?
Yeah, it's very possible that I lag, honestly.
Ah, ben là, je pense que c'est chill. Just make sure that everything is closed on your side. So, yeah, bro. Getting Tuesday Done. C'est toujours une journée difficile le mardi. On dirait le mardi, on arrive, man, on est comme... It's not halfway there. We're just starting. C'est mardi, man. C'est toujours le mardi, je trouve que c'est la journée parfaite pour essayer de se faire un petit reset, un petit mindset reset pour se booster pour la semaine.
C'est mardi.
C'est mardi. Good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I'll keep that
It's
one.
dead.
C'est mardi. It's dead day.
Daddy.
But bro, I was reflecting on that a lot in the past week. Our Getting Tuesday Done subject.
What's on the menu today, Phil? Yo, let's get the fucking energy up over here, bro. What's going on, man? Why are we dead over here? Woo! Let's
Ben non,
go!
big. C'est comme si c'était vendredi ici. De quoi tu parles?
Ouais! C'est pas mardi, c'est alive D. Let's go!
Ben 100%, mon chum. Check. Il y a une chose, le mardi, pour moi, c'est toujours une journée qu'il faut essayer justement de pomper. Ben! Faut que tu le fasses comme artificiellement, si on pourrait dire. Mais dans les dernières années, si tu veux savoir, the past
Monday
few
is a
years...
weird... sorry, Tuesday is a weird day, I find. It's like, who are you? Like, what are you?
Well, for the most part, we've had meetings on Monday. Like, Mondays, the work is pitched. So people, like, kind of, like, piled up the work. You know, if you're in an office, it's an actual pile. But if you're working on the road or whatever, like you have the whole week to do what you have to do. And I think Tuesday is a perfect day to talk about commitments, like to talk about life commitments, you know? And that's what it's all about, you know? Getting Tuesday done is also about getting the week and the month and the year done in some sense, and in the sense of, and that's what we're actually talking about today. When are we done? And what is work? Because the problem now is, and the difference between us and our parents, I feel, is that work had very clear boundaries back in the days. So, and we learned that in university. Like if you did the Business 101, Management 101, you know that we are in a knowledge era in terms of work. And before that, it was the Ford era, so the industrial era. You had orders, you had packages to be fit, you know, c'était industriel, puis the crates needed to be filled. We needed that many crates, and we ordered that many, and we were invoicing that many. But it changed so much, and careers are not like static anymore. You're not just
You're
like...
right. I think we are in an information era right now, with all the information we have at our disposal, and I feel like we're like everybody's good at something and just trying to
sell themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Free agents.
Yeah,
we're free agents now.
But wouldn't the world be a better place if it were like that? People are just selling what they're best at. So that means you have you have a world of people who are actually happy doing what they work, doing the, like, going about their days. I feel like right now, not as many people as it should be are fulfilling their purpose,
their true purpose, their true potential.
I don't know, and I say I feel because of what I see online, because what I read online and stuff. It seems like a lot of people are just in jobs that they don't like, they don't enjoy, and people go to college, they go to university, and they get out of university, and they're not necessarily working in their field and stuff like that. I don't want to get too off topic. I know you have something else planned for today.
No. It's actually very on topic. It's what we're talking about today. That's actually what we're talking about today, because it is very on topic. We're more and more influenced by what the next guy is doing. Like, we were told that at some point in life we would get some sense of stability, but it's not happening. That stability is not we're never arrived, and we're always striving for a better functions,
better situation,
better situations, and that brings in, it's a lot of, I need to get somewhere else. Like, I'm not arrived yet. So that brings in more stuff than our parents. At some point, they had their job. They were well recognized where they in their field. They had their functions set up, and they could stay there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Don't you find, like, I was thinking about this the other day, that life balances out? And it's not necessarily like, I hear a lot of people saying that, like, okay, yes, it was easier for our parents to get a job, to buy a house, to buy groceries. But wouldn't you agree that it kind of balances out in the sense that, like, today more than ever, it's easier to make money online and to I don't know, to become rich and stuff. Like, again, I don't want to get too off topic. I don't want my ADHD.
It's not. It's not. No. It's interesting, bro. Go ahead.
But
there's no off topic.
You know what I mean,
here,
like because we mentioned like our parents' days. In our parents' days, it was a lot easier to buy a house. It was a lot easier to get a job, and like one person working could support a family, a roof over their head, food, car, gas in the tank, and all that stuff. And now, working that same kind of job is not possible right now. So, like a factory worker, like a construction worker back then, working for a company, not owning their own business, would be like, back then, the situation is a lot better than today. But today, like, I like to think that it balances out, because now you can make money in 100,000, a million different ways online.
So there you go. So that's the whole point.
And you just have to go, like, exploit. You just have to go exploit that.
So what? So the point is, work before had really clear boundaries. So you were going to work, you were making money, and you were coming back home, and home was home. Now work, and you defined it. You just said it. There's thousands of ways to make money. So there's thousands of ways to free yourself, but that's very new to humans. Like, that's very new. That's 20 years.
Not even,
new. Not even.
A bit less,
So we're just adapting to this situation, but this situation brings what? It brings
opportunity,
but at home. So your balance is at risk, because you're at home and you're gaining, like, all these kinds of, like, ads about, I don't know, starting your own e-commerce brand, and, like, so are you working while you're doing these, I don't know, those webinars or whatever? What is work? What is considered work?
Sorry, bro, I was having some difficulties.
No problem.
Back in a second.
No problem.
Yeah.
But what is work? And I feel like we should put everything in the same basket. Cutting your grass is work.
Going to the gym is work. Working on yourself is work.
Well, whatever you consider
work, I don't consider just going to work and making a wage work. Like, I consider doing a course, like what we were doing last night. We were doing, like, a course together. I consider that work. So reading a book, I consider that work. Going to the gym, I consider that work.
So anything that shows up that has to be done is work. That's it. That's how you should.
Yes, I like that. I like
Anything
the
that
way you
shows
said that.
up that
Anything that you have
has
to
to
show
be
up
done.
and that has a benefit, that has a future benefit is work. It's because you're kind of like investing your time for an outcome, right? Whether it's just working whether it's working a regular job, or whether it's like you're working on your laptop, you're working on Zoho, for example. You're working on
Mhm.
bettering your systems for Uninet.
That is work.
It's
That
work.
is work. But I do it at home.
Even though
I
while
do
you're
it in
doing
the
it,
week. I do it in
even
the
though
weekends. Sometimes I have an
while you're doing,
idea
yeah,
that
like
just
while you're
pops.
sorry, while you're doing, you're playing with your daughter. You know,
Mhm.
your wife is there. You're eating together, but you also have your laptop on the side, and you're just kind of
I
that's
actually do
work.
not like that would be very toxic. But it's even
I
more
know, but I'm
toxic
just
because
giving.
my toxic thread about that is just like going upstairs because I have an idea that pops while I'm actually the same. Like what you described is actually very real. I don't keep my laptop downstairs because that would go, I would become crazy. Everything's upstairs. But sometimes in the weekends, I'm supposed to like have a nice time. I see an ad popping about like whatever, and I just go upstairs, start researching, ChatGPT it, and sometimes I end up
One thing
being
leads to
staying there for
another.
like 3 hours. Yeah, it might happen. So I think the problem right now is just we're not used to that many new demands, and we're not, and most of us are not used to, you know, it's normal to have new demands and have and not have the sufficient resources to do everything. It's just normal. Like, and you're not, we're not all entrepreneurs from birth. We know what to do when we have too much things.
I think we are, though. I
Not
think in
all
a
of
way
us
we
know how to
are,
delegate, you
because
know.
I think we all are, but
But
then
we
I
know
think
I
some of us
meant
lose it and some of us
none of
keep
us
it.
not. C'est pas tout le monde qui
Because
sait
think
comment
about it, when you're
déléguer. C'est ça que je veux
yeah,
dire.
for sure, but think about it. Think about how when kids come out, they're curious. They want to just touch everything. They want to play with everything. They want to discover. They want to learn. And I think that's at the center of entrepreneurship,
What I meant
being
here, it was
curious.
no. What I meant here, I'm sorry to cut you off. I meant here delegating. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
don't see kids starting. Hey, fais-moi ça. Like, go make me a sandwich. Like kids don't do that. Like from, or not all of, obviously not all of them do it like naturally. I think delegating is a muscle you need to discover later on in life, where you realize that you have insufficient resorces to just do everything
And
that you want to do by yourself.
you
At
only
some
have
point,
12
you need to.
hours in a day, to 24 hours in a day, whatever.
Hey,
There's
hey.
only so much you can do, you
There's
know?
only so much you can do, and there's also like how perfect could it be? How perfect does it have to be? How perfect does that email needs to be? How perfect does your conference needs to be prepared? Like how long does it have to take to prepare and to get things done, to get things ready? And some people get stuck, and we've had that. I'm still we're all struggling with that. We're all struggling with figuring out when to stop. And that's I feel a major, that's the major problem. We're like, okay, I have so many things to do. How long will it take to do all of them based
And
on
what and
values
how much time should I spend on each one?
on each
And then you
one?
start looking at, like, so you kind of understand that, like, the funnels it's worth spending so much time on that automation on Zoho and all those things is worth spending time to automate, because it's going to pay dividends in the long run, because you're building up your kind of like a delegation machine.
It
Right. If you
so
think about it, you don't never have to write an email ever again. Let me spend, even if it takes me 3 weeks, let me spend 3 weeks building up an email sender, so I don't have to do it anymore for the future. And then you build a couple of those systems. Boom, boom, boom. So like that's how you measure, like, okay, this is definitely worth spending time on because it's gonna save me more time. If it's gonna save me more time or make me more money in the future, it's worth spending more time on that in the
cost me
present
less
moment.
effort.
Less effort or more money, I spend more time on that. So
So
like
less
spending
effort
on
equals more money, right? Because less effort means more less manpower, less man hours.
right.
So basically, ineffective personal organizational systems, they create, like, what I realize is they create huge subconscious resistance. It's why I work on these systems so much, is because I know that if I have a grind in my system, my organizational system, in any aspect of the business, so it could be on the field, it could be marketing, it could, if there's a grind and people are like, j'aime pas ça faire ça parce que faut chercher, puis il y a plein d'affaires que je trouve pas, there's a high margin of error because there's a lot of manual things to do, and it's just an ineffective. You know when it's ineffective. Like, if there's one thing you know as an entrepreneur or even as a person, is when you are being ineffective. If you don't know that you are being ineffective, well, I'm very sad for you, my friend. I'm actually being very sad. You know that you're being ineffective. So when you're being ineffective in your subconscious mind, what it does is it creates a resistance, and
Yeah, it gets
undertaking
paralyzed.
even bigger projects feels so much harder. Like, you're like, ben non, je vais pas faire ça because I'm already unorganized right now. Imagine if I take over more projects, and you stay there. So
Mm-hmm.
your capacity of getting your personal organization going flowy is actually your ability to create a better life for yourself. It's not only about work, it's also about fucking mowing your grass and not stressing about it,
Yeah, it's just the
because it
same
has
thing.
to be done.
Your brain. It's we always go back to having your stuff written down. You just get paralyzed. You
Mhm.
just get paralyzed. You have so many things going on. It's like, and you just don't know where to start. So you just don't do anything. And you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna play video games. Like, I don't feel like it right now.
And you know what's crazy? You're gonna get the most, potentially, like, the most effective people on earth being paralyzed and playing video games, like you said. And I know you for years, and I know you're a very high potential guy, and I know it happens to you sometimes because it happens to me also. We're all getting paralyzed at some point, and I feel like it's our kryptonite as human beings. But it's happening more and more and more and more because we're more on our phone than ever. We're more being distracted. And what created the amount of stuff on our plate? Like, what created the amount of work that we have right now on our plate? Our values. You did that by yourself. You said, I want to work at the highest level in that company, I want to do that. And now you have all that stuff on your plate, and you're stuck with it. You're not stuck with it. You chose to be there. So your values and your mind is actually making criteria for your decisions. They're basically telling you, like, what to do. If
And
you
the
change,
only way to basically the only way is to have a bunch of systems in place to take the load off all those little things and make you focus on on growing your business. Just need to have a system for literally all the repetitive tasks.
you need a system that's,
And you need people. You also need people. Can't do shit alone. You need a like that wolf pack, that was lone wolf mentality. It doesn't work. You're not gonna
yeah,
achieve.
bro. Ça, c'est vrai. Mais ça, c'est une autre chose, parce que je sais qu'on peut parler de déléguer sur un autre topic. Like, we could make a whole podcast about it. We're probably going to do one. But, like, to really bring it back to, like, the sense of, I know for some people, like, it's just like, they feel like it's chaos. Like, it's just like in their mind, it's just chaos. And you could tell them anything. Yeah, hire people, blah, blah, blah. You could get on that topic. And for them, it's just like, non, comme, même si je vais engager quelqu'un, j'arriverai pas à sort out everything. I need to be the person that sort out everything. The thing is, chaos is not the problem. It's how long you get to coherence. How long you get to coherence is the real game. How long it takes to
What do
get
you
to
mean by that?
coherence. I mean that we all get and that's like in some sort of chaos at some point. If you get more, like I don't know, imagine like all these companies, ceux qui font du après sinistre, these I don't, how do you say après sinistre in English? When there's a disaster, these companies, bro, construction companies, when there's a disaster, how do you call these companies?
Insurance companies.
No, the construction companies, the guys that go and clean it up. How do you call it?
Demolishers.
Whatever. These cleanup people after. How do you think they need to like figure out in one day, because it happens like, okay, inondation happened on 29th of September. On the 30th, you got a bunch of phone calls. How do you then handle these situations, because they happen? As a business, it's the whole game. How do you get to coherence as fast as possible? You had 0 calls yesterday. Now you got 1,500 people calling Calinette. Hello, 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 hello. I need people at my home. Hello, 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 hello. How do you get to coherence fast is the real game. It's the game changer. It's what it is what's gonna make a difference between Calinette and all these other companies. How much work can I take in one day?
You're cutting off a little bit, Phil. I don't know if it's me or you or.
I don't know. Moi ça va, bro.
Is mine good?
Do I cut?
No, for me it's cutting. But anyways, it's okay.
It's probably moi, je t'entends parfaitement en passant. Je t'entends parfaitement.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, would you? I don't understand what you mean to get to coherence. I don't know what you mean by that.
So it's chaos, right? Like right now, all your papers are all across the board. You got 1,000 clients calling for soumission, for a quote, and it's all over the place. You're not for companies that are not used to getting all that amount of attention. How do you get to proper organizationals? Because for some people, like they will be in a sense, okay, c'est fou là, j'en ai trop à faire. Est-ce que t'en as trop à faire?
I think what's going on, like over here right now, we're talking about the next stage in a company. We're talking about the next stage, right? The beginning stage is what we spoke about yesterday: is marketing, promote, marketing. And then it's make mistakes, learn, boom, go. Be like water. Just be like water. Just flow. Just go, boom, boom. And then at what point would you suggest, Fel, it's time to build systems, it's time to automate, it's time to delegate, it's time to hire somebody?
Yeah. It's really when you know how to sort out what's important and how do you know it is.
So how do you figure that out? Is that just with time you're gonna eventually figure that out, or?
But bro, you never had that feeling that you thought something was really important, and then you showed up and you realized, okay, like it was not that much of a stress. I had time, and you rushed so much and you pushed so much importance on one simple or one little thing.
Yeah.
And you realize downwards that it was not that deep. Like it was not that much of a. Like another person could have like walked through what you run through. You went through running, so much preparation. You were thinking about so many things. I need to figure that much, and then you meet the lawyer, and he's like, "Hey, I could have all done this for you. You should have just called me."
Mm-hmm.
It never happened to you. Un moment de comme, hey man, j'aurais pas dû. I shouldn't have put all that burden upon myself.
My problem, one of my problems that I'm working on and that I've overcome, you could say, is that I can't function. And I can't grow if I have all these little things lingering around. That's why when you keep talking about delegation and systems, it's so important. I would not be able to survive without them. I'm not able to function properly with all these little things in my head, like email this, fucking this, that. Just fucking send an email, call this person. Bro, how am I supposed to grow my business like that with all these little things fucking in my head? I can't focus on growing. I can't.
Mhm.
I have to focus on all those. Because my brain's like, okay, it's just not happy. My brain's like, no, like stop.
C'est tellement tout le monde. Il y a tellement de gens qui m'ont déjà dit ça aussi.
You
Puis je
can't
réalise
continue,
que
man.
c'est
It's like,
because the system you're using
even though
needs to
it's not
save
what's
up.
gonna,
It needs
because
to
you
save
gotta,
you up more time and effort than needed to maintain it, and that's
you
the
have to
major
like,
problem.
it's like money in, money. Having a business is money in. It's money in. That's the important thing, right? You need to make money. That's what you have to focus on. Money. Imagine spending your day like emails, like customer service. Bro, you can't. It's impossible to do everything by yourself. It's impossible. And yeah, I
But
took.
when you start, you have to.
I learned that.
When you start, you have to. Like, there's a lot of business owners right now that are might be listening, and they're like, "I own a business right now, and I'm doing it by myself. I'm interested in delegating, but it's just not possible for me right now." And I was in that state on the first year of Uninet when we started. I was literally with my wife's car, Corolla. I later on I had the whatever. I think I had the Rav4 already, but whatever. I remember being like the one man show and doing everything by myself. And later
Yeah,
on, I delegated. But you start by
you start by
being
being.
the
Yeah.
one man show. Tu commences comme ça. But then what's the system? And what's a system? Like the system for me that worked and that we're talking about right now and that we're keeping, like, c'est de ce système-là qu'on parle à chaque mardi. So on Tuesday, the system we're talking about is not a system you could download on an app. Like it's not a calendar. It's not gonna involve you having to download my app. It's impossible. It's gonna involve you using your subconscious mind as a tool, as a it's a set of behavior. The system I'm using is a set of behavior, and that lets me use my brain as the computing power, I would say. Because and what happened is I use my brain to get rid of what you were talking about, all the stuff that grinds and keeps you like from growing and focusing on growing. I use the power of my subconscious mind to actually get rid of the work that when it really happens. So once the thing comes in, I use my brain to let it like to get it off my. I use my mind to get things off my mind.
Mm-hmm.
There
That's
shouldn't be
interesting.
any other systems than if things comes in your mind and they're in there and they're stuck and they're preventing you from, like you said, growing and all that stuff. It has to be your mind that takes it off. There has to be an
Right.
output system.
And
So
you need an actionable. You need to actually take an actionable step to in order to do that. Let me organize the GTD method, and then you
exactly.
follow that GTD method.
So like you said, the mind like water comes from there. It's like
Because
this. It's
your
like the
mind can't be like
swing.
water, right? Your mind can't be like water if it's being bogged down by all that.
Well, if it's crazy, but if you really think about it, your body is made of water. Your whole body is made of water, like 70%, I think. So if you
Mm-hmm.
really think about it, your body is being um you're orbiting. You're orbiting. Gravity impacts your body. So how do you know? How do we know that gravity is not impacting your mind? It is an impact actually, because we're actually saying some. There's a saying. There's so many things gravitating in my. It's gravitating. You have so many things. They have to be because they come back. It's a loop, right?
Orbiting, you mean?
Orbiting, gravitating. Ouais, c'est la même chose. C'est ça que ouais, c'est ça. Gravitationnel. whatever, orbiting, call it what you want. It comes in and then whoops, it goes back, like it goes in the back of your mind. C'est la même chose, whatever. Mais check. L'idée, c'est que, en vrai, tu sois capable d'utiliser la gravité, your momentum, to pick up what's in your mind out, like, sans forcer, sans travailler, sans que ce soit un grind, without having you to stop writing everything down, having lists, A, B, C, D, E, X, Y, Z. Like, you need something at this level to output. Okay, it's out. All right. Okay. Eiffel, tu peux-tu appeler Kev pour XYZ? Nanana. Yes. If it takes 2 minutes, 2 minutes rule, whatever, we'll talk about it. You need to swing it. Use the momentum of your brain instead of.
I have a question about the 2 minutes. The 2 minute rule. If something takes 2 minutes or less, you do it right away. But let me ask you this: what if you have 10 things that take 2 minutes or less?
Do 10 things show up all at once?
They show up all at once. Well, because you're at the point where you decided to like.
At the point until you decide that these things need to be handled,
written down
right now. Like, when you're, I want to talk about the swing concept because it's actually important. We don't have a lot of time left. So the swing carries you, right? The swing carries you. Once you're on the swing, it's one of the first things you learn as a child to go on the swing. So the swing carries you. You don't force it. If you start forcing it with your legs, you're stopping your momentum.
Right.
So your mind is the same. If you have 10 things to do, you need some system in place in your mind to not break your mind momentum. Keep the momentum on what you're doing and leave the 10 things aside for a moment where you're stepping aside. Take it, like, t'as du temps pour le prendre. But if you're trying to force your legs out, hey, non, ok, attends, je vais aller sur l'autre swing. You're going to lose momentum. You're going to lose time. And you're not going to let gravity doing most of the work. So you're not going to be able, like, delegating comes afterwards. Ça vient après. But once you know how to delegate, you know how to juggle. Okay, I have these 10 things. I have 3 people working under me. How could we split the whole 10? If we split the whole 10, we have 3 each, 3.5 each, whatever, 3.4. we have a couple each instead of 10 all to me. And that's something that seems very easy, but most people don't know how to handle that at all. They take the 10 and they're like, I have 10 now. And they call their husband, baby, it's getting crazy at work. It's either I'm going to stay at work or overwhelming.
Another thing that's important is to also be chill. You have to just tell yourself, like, it's okay. I have all those things in the back burner. It's okay. They're going to get done. It's like your brain needs proof that you're actually going to do them later. If you don't actually do them, your brain knows that you're potentially not going to do it. And it stresses. But if you always show up and you always do what you have to do, your brain is going to have trust in you. It's like two separate things. Your brain and you is like two separate, or you call it the subconscious and you call it the conscious mind. But it's like when you have a bad habit of not doing your stuff, not doing what you're supposed to do or what you told yourself that you're going to do, man, after when you have stuff to do later on, your brain is going to be like not convinced because it doesn't have the proof. It doesn't have the proof that you're going to do it. So that's why it's so important to have a good habit of actually doing it every single time. And you have to be chill. Like, you have to chill yourself out and be okay. You have to be okay with having a lot of stuff to do. Because even if you're organized and you have a whole bunch of stuff, you're still going to be like buzzing a bit. Because like, whoa, but you can't be buzzing. You have to be like, your brain has to have confidence in you that you're going to get them done. You're going to tackle through those things.
C'est intéressant ce que tu dis.
You need the evidence. Your brain needs evidence that you're going to do it. Bro, I was just... Okay, look, you're going to laugh. just before I was making lunch. What time is it? I was making lunch, and I'm leaving my apartment for a few months. Right, I'm going to Germany and then Canada, and I'm like, I definitely need to pass the vacuum cleaner one last time before I leave the house. Right, and as I'm cooking, my brain was like not happy that the vacuum cleaner was not right here where the door is. And I'm like, because the vacuum cleaner is like hidden behind boxes. And my brain wasn't satisfied because it's like, oh, you might forget. You might forget to grab the vacuum cleaner and vacuum before you leave. So I had to stop cooking. I'm literally mid cooking. I stopped cooking to go get the vacuum cleaner out and make sure that it's visible. Because me personally, I need to design my visual environment in order to not forget stuff. My visual environment is super important. And then now that the vacuum cleaner is out, my brain is like, now it knows, it has evidence that it's going to get done. So now my brain could relax. Okay, next thing, if that makes sense.
It does. And the state you're talking about, I feel like there's a lot of people who probably feel the same, but for also for the people that that feel like they're getting more and more incoming, and there's so many things that, because it could be very distressing to have multiple things like that are grinding on your system. But one thing about the mind, like, if I could expand real quick about the mind, like, we're gonna extend here, but I don't care. I need to get this out. We cannot wait until next week. This needs to get out right now. Ça, parce que c'est vraiment important. The mind like water concept is actually about not trying to not trying to be at a different state. I don't know how to explain. Striving, like, trying becomes striving, and striving undoes itself. Because if you really think about it, if you're we've all been there as young kids coming up, like 19 years old, 20 years old. We're social climbers. We're trying to, like, get somewhere. But if you really think about it, you're trying to be something, but, like, you're trying to be like something you're not yet. You're trying, like, mettons que ton but c'est d'être riche. T'essayes d'être riche.
Okay.
Mais a rich person is not trying to be rich. It's already arrived. And rich people know that to be rich is not about trying to be rich. It's about keeping the momentum. It's about keeping the concepts that they know working, keeping on working. So the concept of arrival is only in your brain. It's only something that happens to people who are not arrived yet. The swing concept is the really arrival you should strive for. You should be able
to be in constant motion, to be in
constant motion, not arrive somewhere that's not even fucking existing.
So that's interesting. That's interesting, because if I'm not on that swing during my day, if I'm not in that momentum, my brain's not happy. My brain is not satisfied. I'm not satisfied if I'm not constantly in motion, doing the stuff that I think and I believe that I need to be doing in order to get there. And the swing thing is great, but imagine you mix a bit of the momentum with effort. Do you remember being on the swing when you were a kid? And yeah, having the momentum is great, but imagine using your effort, your force,
your legs
when you're on the swing, your legs plus the momentum. Do you remember what happens to the entire swing? It starts the bars start to come out of the sand.
You're breaking the swing.
And then all of a sudden, and then you jump off. You ever jump off? We used to jump off back in the day. That's why I have knee problems, probably.
But
anyways,
what's
guys,
interesting?
Sorry, go ahead.
No. It's true. It's true. It's been 39
No,
minutes.
bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish your point, bro. Finish your
Bro,
point.
by jumping out the swing, you are you were creating like a big in the sand. Do you remember?
Yeah, of course.
Like
Was
that's
that like
to
a leap
me.
of faith? Can we call that the leap of faith?
No, that's not not really. But we could say that the impact you were doing in the sand is also the impact you could make in life.
It's like taking a risk. You're taking a risk. You're jumping. You're the leap of faith. You're taking the leap.
The thing about like water and mine, like water, like we didn't really expand on that, but I don't want to go too far. But water is what it is. What is water is like water. If you throw a stone in the pond that is still, the water will like flow in a way that's just impacted by the weight of
Temporarily.
the stone and like the impact, and not more, not less. There's not gonna be like water will not get like it. How could I say that? It
It will not get
can't be.
impacted long term. It's a temporary impact. It takes a hit and it just keeps going.
It
If
can
that
be
if that's
it can be forced. It can be still, but it can be like it's not impatient. It's not frustrated by the amount of force you apply on it. So it's not gonna rebound on you the same way we're as human beings rebounding on things in a different way. And when people are saying like, ouais, mais les gens réagissent pas de la même façon que si, like people are reacting differently depending on people. When people are saying that, they're basically saying I'm I'm more or less than water. You should be like water. So you should actually be not more, not less than what the pressure is bringing you. If the pressure is forcing you this way, you're going this way, and that's it. Like and they're showing that in martial arts, because in martial arts you need to understand that concept and bring it to your mind very very quickly, because in martial arts the power of a strike is not based on brute force but on speed. You need speed, and it's very important. That's why we're going to talk about that a little bit more next week. But in martial arts, the concept of mind like water is applied to relaxation
what the
and and balance,
Bruce
because it clears the mind, and it's and a tone. They say that the tone muscle is a slow one.
A
That's what they
toned
say
muscle
in.
is a slow one. Why is that?
Yes, a tense
Why?
muscle is a slow one, because if you tense your muscle like this, and ask any fighter,
Oh
ask
yeah, yeah.
what.
You feel like stiff. You're like
You're mad and you're getting at it.
you have to
You're
be like
stiff. You're slow. You're gonna be slower than someone who's
yeah.
completely relaxed.
Yep.
Because he's gonna be able to. Um, if your mind is empty, it's ready for anything. It's actually ready to take on anything.
Yep.
And so that's it. I just wanted to say like we're gonna get deeper next week about the mind like water concept, but it's actually a concept that you
Well,
need to absorb.
I just
Yes,
want to say one thing before we
of
leave,
course.
because we talk a lot and we bring up good points. You bring up amazing points. Having a system, writing stuff down, GTD method, being organized. All those things are important, but I feel like we don't put enough stress on meditating.
Yeah,
Actual meditating,
true.
training, like going to the gym, working out, doing yoga, and doing stuff that relaxes you, going in the sauna, doing the cold plunge. These things are necessary. And so if you couple that, if you mix those physical things with the mental things, and then be on top of all your
Mhm.
shit, like waking up at a reasonable time, um, working towards your goals, going to the gym, man, at the end of the day, how are you not happy with yourself? How can you not be happy
Hmm.
with yourself? It's almost impossible. Go to the gym, get a six pack. Go be productive at work, do work towards your goal, and go to the gym and work out, and then go in the sauna, take a shower, and read a book, or just come home and do something that you like. How can you not feel fulfilled?
I think for some people, just doing that, they will realize that some things in their own life does not belong where they are, and they should they should get rid of those things. And I think that a mind that keeps keeping things that does not belong where it should is a mind that keeps open loops. And I know we all know what open loops does. It creates bugs, it creates clutter, it creates like it drags, it's pulling on your attention. If it's not properly managed, like, and we're gonna be talking like, and that's what I want to bring, a system that keeps these open loops away, and everything that needs to be managed. You must, and we're not talking, like I said, we're not talking about like using your computer, whatever. If it's your computer, if it's your cell phone, if it's whatever, good for you, but it needs to be off your mind. So we're gonna learn what I want people, and I, even us, you and me, Jordan, it's just gonna be some good refreshing stuff. How do we use our mind to get stuff off of our mind? Because your brain is just the most powerful computing power you could actually find on the planet. You're not going to find a more powerful computer than your brain. That's it. That's it,
All
mon
right,
chum.
guys.
Yes, on retourne travailler.
Great talk, Phil. Love you, bro.
Moi aussi, je t'aime. On s'en parle demain, man.
Ciao,
Ciao,
ciao.
ciao.